and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the CSL. We have an interesting matchup from our Midwest division where we're going to have teams like Indiana, Chicago, Illinois, and Kansas competing. And Chicago showed last week they can be pretty dominant in all phases of the game, 1v1 and 2v2. We're just starting our first game up now. And guys, this is going to be a bit of a solo cast, so before we get too far into things, I just want to say thank you to our wonderful sponsors at Twitch. If you're watching this, this is of course the platform that you're watching it on. And Band Gaming, it's a great social app that allows you to connect with other gamers. It can help you to organize your CSL team. Oh, I put the wrong overlay on. Whoopsie daisies, that's alright. All the information is there. So just 1 second, guys. Alright, and there we go. These guys, I guess not remembering that they met. A little bit of GLHF. Bales is probably the favored player here, obviously. Bales being a pro player for Elevate Gaming. But let's go ahead and introduce our guys. Spawning in the top side of the map, playing for Team University of Kansas as well as Elevate, it is Bales. And his opponent in the bottom right-hand corner, playing for Team University of Chicago, it is Shrek. So I'll say that Bales is obviously favored, guys, but I don't want to count Shrek out. He's in Masters League, and we're going to see what he can do. He's going to want to get that scout off early. It's Dasan Station, an absolutely crazy map. And he really just wants to make sure that Bales isn't throwing anything too crazy at him. Right now, everything looks pretty basic. Generally, when you're the better player, you do, of course, want to play that standard kind of style that we see so often. And there's no real reason not to. Bale's going to go ahead and take that expansion quite quickly. Shrek has full information. He knows what's going on. And we're going to see what he wants to throw out here. On the other side of the map, Bales is fully scouting his opponent as well. And so far, nothing really to talk about from either of them. Now, it does look like Shrek is going to be going for that fast expansion as well. Not making the Reaper that a lot of people do like to make early on. Instead, he's just going to walk a single Marine across the map. Dasan Station, there's not too many points to really jump up and down, so that does make a lot of sense. And it can be nice to get out there with the Marine, kind of take that map control, kite back away against anything that might walk out. And I think we'll probably end up seeing some kind of pressure. Dasan as a map tends to favor pressure type styles because obviously the rush distance is very short, the air rush distance is even shorter, and there's just a lot of angles to come in and attack from. It looks like Bales just continuing to be quite standard here, chronoing out workers, getting those first adepts out, and he's going to move across the map with a mothership core. Maybe this Pope will find some damage. He's actually swinging around on an angle where it looks like is totally undefended. These Marines up here are going to be ready to push away the Adept. But this has the chance to sneak behind enemy lines and do a bit of damage here. Looks like Shrek is going to split up his forces to try to deal with this. 2 Marines need to wait for the rest to pop to come in and help out with the situation. And Bale's content to just take an SCV and go home. Adept's going to start moving across the map now. And we'll have to see if Bales can continue to find anything here. He's looking around. Oh, he doesn't want to lose this mothership core. That would be very bad for him. Does take some hull damage on it here from these Marines. He's going to continue to pull back and maybe look for an angle to safely recall once he has that energy amount. And he's running out of space to run. There is a dead air zone, I believe. Yes, there is a dead air zone, but the Adept count at the front is starting to rise a little bit. And Bales can continue to kind of chip away the health of these buildings. There's only one single Marine in that bunker to DPS is down, but once the tank comes out, this light pressure is basically going to be over. But there are other ways to get around the wall, and it looks like the Warp Prism is going to be the choice here to maybe perhaps get some units into the main base of Shrek and start doing damage for Bales. He could also just go for a big warp in at the front, but I don't think that's what it's going to do. Yeah, we do see the Adepts being loaded up here. He's going to try to bypass those defenses, get into the main base, maybe just drop on top of everything. He's got 4 Adepts in here now. He has the money for... Oh, no, he doesn't have the money for a warp in. So we're going to see if he can find any damage. Does Bales here. He's not looking to commit too hard into Adepts right now, as he is researching that blink upgrade for his Stalkers. Looks like gets a couple of SCVs maybe. These Marines are going to step up. Shading down here, he will pick up another SCV. Actually going to get some of these Marines now. He can continue going to work on some of these more vulnerably positioned units. He's continuing to warp into Adepts is Bales. Shrek is doing a pretty good job of dealing this right now, but the Adepts are going to phase in on top of this army. And now suddenly the big expensive critical units like the tank are starting to fall. And it looks like Bales is just starting to really crush on through. I don't think this was meant to be a kill blow, but it just might be doing that as the units of Shrek are just absolutely running out here. And I think what we're seeing is one player just outclassing another one as SCVs continue to fall. There's literally no army to speak of. And I just don't know if Shrek's going to have an answer for this. Oh god. Whoops. Sorry about that, guys. I've been using OBS Classic for these broadcasts, and I just recently switched to Studio today due to some tech issues. And unfortunately, I forgot to change the scene. That won't happen again. And let's take a look. Our next matchup is going to be OMG Banana versus Dr. Doghead. I don't really know anything about Dr. Doghead. While we wait for that next match, though, I want you guys to check out this quick ad for Band Gaming. It's a social app you can get on the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. And it's got some pretty great features if you want to connect with communities of gamers and you want to form a CSL team. This can help you organize and manage it. So coordinators, guys like that, you definitely want to get on top of it. So this is Band Gaming. Definitely check them out.
Only $14.99.
Don't miss the call. Download Band. Communication made easy.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to get into the second map here, which is going to be Frost. As you can see, we're loading in right now. May have hopped over a bit prematurely. Oh god, I forgot to change the overlay again. Whoops. This is going to be an interesting matchup, though. But before we start talking about it, I do want to introduce our players. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, playing for Team TA Competitive as well as the University of Chicago, it is OMG Banana. And his opponent in the top right-hand corner, playing for the University of Kansas, it is Mistake Not. So this is an interesting matchup for a couple of reasons. OMG Banana is a very high GM player. His most notable achievement was probably taking a macro game off of Psystorm's True at the Cheeseadelphia 3 LAN. It was a really exciting moment. He was able to kind of pull out a result that absolutely no one expected him to. On the other side of the map, we have Mistake Now, who is a random player. So I don't know how good his Zerg is compared to the rest of his races. Sometimes with the random players, they'll have one race that's maybe a cut or two above. Now, normally I'd say we just kind of expect OMG Banana to win going into this. And I think he's still obviously the favorite here, as he is going to be scouting wrongly and correctly in this top left-hand corner Frost. But I think the one thing to keep in mind with OMG Banana is, for some reason, he's in Gold League right now. And I tried to ask him why, and all he would say is, I'm GM, what are you talking about? So I don't know if he's in Gold because maybe he hasn't been playing, and his MMR reset. If he hasn't touched the game in 2 seasons, but he still wants to come out for some CSL, that could maybe have happened. Or maybe it's just a dumb meme. I don't really know. But he is going to be scouting here. He's going to see that Mistake Not took that early hatchery. I'm going to come up here, see that everything is normal. It's just a safe, macro, conservative type opening. And that's gonna make OMG Banana feel pretty good, I think, as he has also taken his own Nexus at home. He's got that wall up in case of a Ling Flood or something too crazy. And I think these guys are going to be feeling fairly confident going into the mid stages of this game here. If you're wondering what's with the game heart overlay, I unfortunately forgot to change it. We will have a 2v2 next, so I have to remember not to change it. But I think that OMG Banana is really going to want to be looking to tie this series up here, because he is likely his team's best player. He's likely their ace, so they're probably counting on him to win what I think he views as a very winnable match. This first Adept is going to step out onto the map, and it's just probably for scouting, poke away at the front a bit. If you can catch a drone, that's always nice, but you're not really expecting to. What are these 2 Lings coming up? He's going to ignore them. Just walk right by up. We should point out that Mistake Not is taking his 3rd base right now, which is a bit nice for him. OMG Banana is going to check the timing of that. He knows exactly when it's going down, and he decides having that information is enough. He can go home. It also indicates to him that there's no attack coming right now. He can probe like a madman. He can tech. He can do whatever he feels he needs to do to deal with this 3-base Zerg that's soon going to be existing, and he can do it quite safely. All those resources you're dumping into the hatchery are resources that aren't going into units. Layer starts up here for Mistake Not. We'll have to take a look what that tech is for. He built the Roach Warren. Sometimes that's for safety. Likely going to be the case based on gas count, that he is going to want to be making roaches here. When you have 6 gas, you can afford to make a lot of roachling, or rather when you have 2 gases with 6 workers mining gas, you can afford to make a lot of roachling. So perhaps he's going to go for some kind of roachling style and just never stop attacking, try to contain OMG Banana on 2 bases, and ram his head into the dirt that way. OMG Banana on the other side of the map is adding on a lot of gateways. It looks like we're going to be going up to a grand total of 7 here. This is a style that was more popular with Legacy, or with the Heart of the Storm rather, but it's definitely still quite potent in Legacy of the Void, especially when you get those Glaive upgraded Adepts. They can perform massive amounts of damage. And I'm not sure if Mistake Not is going to be ready for it. He is throwing down a Spine, so perhaps his Game sense is tingling. This Overlord's going to come in for a scout. Doesn't have speed, though, which is a bit unfortunate. It means that it's going to be rather limited in what it can see. And in fact, just up front here, oh, did it get a glimpse of those Adepts moving out? It looks like he should have an idea of what is coming his way, as all of these units are going to be marching across the map quite handily. Yeah, this Link definitely now sees it. It seizes control of the Watchtower, does OMG Banana, and I think we're going to see one more warp in round, and then it's going to be time to attack. More Spine Crawlers are coming down. The Wings are trying to get in a good position. Nothing but roaches on the production tab here for our Zerg player, and OMG Banana is going into the third. He's going to try to make it happen. He cancels those shades. Drones start falling right away. All of these Lings getting right on top of the Adepts, and the Adept count is just too high here for Mistake Not to handle. It looks like a couple of Queens will fall. No one has managed to be saved, but this third base is absolutely forfeit. These Spine Crawlers aren't going up. The third base hatchery will fall. And this is just an absolutely brutal situation to be in if you're Mistake Not. OMG Banana is going for the throat now. He's phasing up. He actually looks like he isn't going to finish off that third hatchery. That could come into play here if the production of Mistake Not perhaps allows him to hold. This is a very high roach count, but the roaches are immobile. I don't think they have speed out just quite yet. And OMG Banana is now going to phase up here into this main base. The defending Queens will fall. The roaches are going to trickle up inside, but a lot of drones will go down to make this hold happen. Mistake Not needs to be very careful about properly splitting up his units, and it looks like he hasn't been. The drone count continuing to plummet, going down to just 11 drones now as Mistake Not. He's actually making drones trying to replace what he's massively bleeding out, but at this point critical damage has been done. They're going to phase over here, these Adepts are, and take out this third hatchery, and I think that's just about going to seal the deal for Mistake Not here. I wouldn't be surprised to see Mistake Not move across the map and just try to make something happen with this roach count. It is still a bit scary looking if you're OMG Banana, but it's absolutely holdable with Pylon Overcharge and all those other defensive tools that Protoss has access to. But OMG Banana is not going home. He's just continuing to stay. The drone count is down to 5. And I think now he's realized, okay, there's no need to fight that army head on. Instead, I'm just going to back off. I'm going to take a chill pill. I'm going to relax. I'll be very surprised if he lets those Adept Shades finish. And he's going to use these Adepts to just continuously deny any third base going down. And as soon as Mistake Not moves out, OMG Banana moves in. The final drones are falling. And this is such a desperate situation here for Mistake Not. He's marching across the map with slow roaches. But look at what OMG Banana has. He's chronoing out his... Oh, he's not actually chronoing that out. Might be a bit of a mistake, but I still think he's in position to hold. He's making these pylons. The Adepts are going to come home most likely to help fight. And actually, I don't even think OMG Banana needs to hold this attack. It could just go to a base race here. And let's take a look. The first pylon overcharge does go down, and that is going to push away this roach attack. OMG Banana choosing to come home and fight instead of allowing it to go to a base race. But, I mean, Mistake Not, he needs to go now, as soon as that pylon overcharge dissipates. But there are 3 more available to our Protoss player, and I think it's going to be very hard for him to break this wall. Firepower raining down from above with the Mothership Core. Big warp in here for OMG Banana. I think this should be the final fight of the game here. Force fields trap a lot of those roaches in quite nicely. A Corrosive Bile is going to come down, landing on top of that Immortal. The final few units go down. GG, it's called. And OMG Banana takes a very clean win. Alright guys, we're going to hop over to another ad for Band Gaming while we get our next match set up. That next match will be a 2v2, and it's going to be Pancakes versus Pancakes and Jeevan versus KG and James Bro. So we're going to hop over, take a look at Band Gaming, check them out, learn more about them, and we'll be back after these messages.
Ben, Sam, and Ken are on separate journeys to defeat the menacing Vile Dragon. But let's just say luck isn't on their side. If only there was a way for them to find each other and band together. Well, that's why there's Band. It's a mobile app that allows people to come together using common interests. With Band, you can find fellow gamers, chat, schedule gaming sessions, and conduct polls. Stage epic battles with friends while sharing videos and photos along the way. So try Band today. Band. Be together.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be loading into our third map in just a moment here. This map is going to be Sludge City. It's going to be a 2v2. It's probably one of the more macro-heavy maps that the game does offer. So I'm pretty excited to take a look at it. 2v2s are a lot of fun. It's an interesting meta. So let's introduce our players spawning in the bottom right-hand corner. Playing for Team University of Kansas, we have Gunrunner and James Bro. And their opponents in the top left-hand corner playing for the University of Chicago. It is Jivan and Pancakes. Pancakes, of course, being a delicious food that you can eat. I had some for breakfast yesterday at a diner. They were very good. I would highly recommend, if you're ever sad, eat some pancakes and you'll feel better. Once in a while. Not the kind of food you want to be eating every day. Very high in carbs, very high in fat. Not the super healthiest thing in the world. But yeah, pancakes. Anyways, sorry guys, I'm a bit loopy here today. Looks like a full scout going to be coming off for both players. In 2v2, you definitely want to scout just because things can get so incredibly weird so incredibly quickly. The variety of ways that races synergize with each other is just... You can produce some really brutal all-ins, and a lot of the times in 2v2, what we do see is one team will have a really well-prepared early game pressure, and will do a lot of damage and back off, and then just kind of macro out of that. That's the 2v2 meta we've been seeing in the CSL so far this year, and I'm curious if we're going to continue to kind of see that attitude going forwards. James Bro, Scout coming home. Both these guys confirmed that they're doing pretty similar timings. They're both getting those golds very quickly. Of course, in Sludge City, all four players get access to an immediate gold base, which gets really interesting. It leads to a lot of mineral-heavy compositions. You can have very powerful armies very quickly, but of course those golds do mine out faster, which means you're pressured to expand. And aside from that one in base blue base, it's pretty hard to expand here on Sludge City. We're gonna have to see if this Reaper can get any damage done. He is going to choose to fight this Marine, is Jivan, before backing off. And a decent wall up here for Gunrunner. He's going to be able to kind of prevent that Reaper from getting in and getting that full scouting information that at once. I don't think there's anything too crazy they were trying to hide just yet. I apologize if you have trouble following the spreadsheet-like graph across the screen. There's just a lot of information to take in 2v2s. As StarCraft 2 players, a lot of us, our brains can't handle more than one player on a team. The concept of teams is very foreign to us. So I know that some people have trouble watching 2v2s, but we're going to try our best here to break it down and walk you guys through what is going on. Now, it does look like with this Warp Prism, Team University of Kansas is gearing up to be the more offensive team. You get that Warp Prism when you want to move across the map, you want to do damage. You want to put some pressure on. It does look like they've only got one warp gate still. We'll have to see if they add more and kind of open up their aggressive options. Whoa! Okay. Apparently I can't click on this. Anyways, it looks like a Ghost Academy is going down somewhere for Jivan's. Right here, actually. Or Gunrunner, rather, is throwing down his Ghost Academy. So this is going to be something really special, I believe. You don't kind of just throw down a Ghost Academy to get it, in most cases. You generally want to do some damage with it. You're going to hit a timing where you don't think your opponent's going to have detection, and you're just going to kill things. And it works because it's not that common. It's not something people do all the time. Gunnar is also going to take up his third. He doesn't have barracks with a tech lab on it. So I'm not sure why he built a Ghost Academy. Looks like he's just going to kind of crank out Marines 2x2. Alright, it's a safety Ghost Academy. Sometimes you have to You have to build that safety ghost academy in case you need emergency ghosts. This is actually just a team that's a big fan of cloaked units in general, it would appear, as a Dark Shrine is coming up. Because, hey, if you're going to make cloaked units and they don't have detection and they're going to do damage, well, why not double your amount of cloaked unit production and go for the Ghost and Dark Templar? I would like to see a barracks with a tech lab here for Gunrunner, because obviously you need that to make ghosts. It's going to get that tank out, which could help with the defense. It looks like a Stalker Aggression is going to be coming out of Team Chicago here. Blink is just... Oh no, Blink is finished up for our purple team. And they're going to be blinking in as soon as they get that high ground vision, most likely, to try to put some hurt on. Ooh, this could actually do so much damage here. I don't think there's really anything at all to deal with this. There's no units available. 8 gateways are just opening up, but actually the pylons could get shut down, and this is looking to be absolutely disastrous. This could just be a game-ending move here out of Team Chicago, who are just destroying everything. A couple Marines are going to come to the bunker, but that's not enough. The Marine count is equal for the attacking team as the defending team, and that's not really what you want to see. And it looks like, I think this is just over. Jamesboro is moving into the base of Jivan with a couple of Immortals. Going to handily clean up this small... Oh no, actually. Yeah, he's gonna clean up the defending force and continue to push forward. I think this base rate situation does favor our Chicago team because there is literally no production for Jamesboro, and Gunrunner doesn't seem to have any production of his own. This is looking really bad here for our Kansas team. Chicago is just plowing through this. The Immortals here are doing actually an absolutely terrific job. It does look like Jamesboro is trying to make up for the deficits in his partner's supply, which as you can see is a lot lower than everyone else's. But actually, Jamesboro has these Immortals left, and that's about it. The Warp Prism Micro is going to be real, but I don't know what the next move is for these guys. I mean, the supplies are really telling the story here. Jamesboro down to 8 supply. He has that Immortal, and that's it. On the other side of the map, Team Chicago is just kind of plowing through this. All these SCVs are going to come off the line to fight. They're just trying to buy time at this point, hoping maybe those Immortals can really just destroy everything. But the Terran army is going to come up here and assist in the defense, and I think we're going to see GG being called here in any moment. A single Liberator trying to be cranked out. Gunrunner has 4 SCVs to his name. He's not able to drop mules right now either. And I don't know what to tell you guys. I'm not sure why this game is still going on. Pancakes and Jivan have about 100 times more supply, or rather, they have nearly 100 times more supply than their opponent, who basically have nothing at this point. GG is called by Gunrunner, and that's gonna be our game. Alright guys, so that brings us to a 2-1 lead for the Team Chicago here. And we're going to jump over to a quick ad break while we get our next match set up.
Only $14.99.
Don't miss the call. Download Band. Communication made easy.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back. We're going to be getting into our Archon match. This is either the last or the second to last match of the night here. The last or the second to last match of the night here. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have our blue Archon playing for the University of Chicago. It is tagged in Shrek. And their opponents in the bottom right-hand corner, playing for the University of Kansas. It is our Protoss Archon, Bales and Jamesbro. So this is an interesting matchup because Tagged and Shrek are both Masters players, and they have a lot of APM to work with. There's a lot of cool stuff they can do to try to take advantage of this fact. On the other hand, Bales is of course a pro player, and his teammate is Platinum. So the skill disparity between the internal factors of these two teams is a pretty big deal, and we're going to have to see if Bales can kind of carry his teammate to victory here over these two guys that, well, individually not as good as Bales, could be collectively. Now this probe is going to come up and start kind of chipping away here. Looking for a bit of damage on top of this SCV. It is going to be a shoot away, but not before it gets a full scout off, giving the red Archon all of the information they need to know. Bale's going to respond, Bales' team rather is going to respond by throwing down that quick Nexus. Cybercore coming down as well. Nothing crazy, just what you'd kind of expect to see on New Gettysburg. Of course, New Gettysburg is a really interesting map because you have this long, thin bridge here that lends itself to quick rushes. But the flip side is you can, of course, throw down a blocker here. It's very easy to block this off with a pylon or a supply depot, depending on what race you play. And that can buy you a lot of extra time against any kind of early aggression. The rush distance is very short as well by air, but there's these air blockers. So you need to put more APM into controlling them. And I mean, that's something that in Archon mode I think we would expect to see. Reaper is coming out now for our Chicago team. It's going to be moving across the map. Reaper is a very microable unit, very popular in Archon mode because of that. You can get an enormous amount of value out of them just by kind of putting extra attention in. And this is a mode that rewards using units that have a lot of potential in that regard. So now they're going to look to be getting maybe a probe. This Adept combined with the Mothership Core should be enough to shoot away for now. Actually going to do a good job of chasing this with the Shade is University of Kansas. And, ooh, nice dodge by the Reaper, going up there and juking it out. Bales' team's just going to go home and sit up defensively. It looks like a Stargate's coming out. As we mentioned, that close rush distance does enable any kind of air aggression to be very powerful on this map. We'll have to see. That's for Oracles most likely. Now, on the other side of the map, we have our Terran team, just a couple of Raxes. Doesn't look like any kind of starport down yet. Playing things safely, defensively, getting some units out, making sure they don't die to any kind of early aggression. Even throwing down a scan. These guys want complete information, and they're going to see that Stargate just as it finishes up, giving them plenty of time to respond. Looks like Oracle will, of course, be the choice from our red Archon here. And as long as Team University of Chicago is paying attention, they should have adequate time to respond to this. Looks like the Reaper is going to come back in and try to perhaps get some more information on a suicide mission. We'll have to see what he can find, but no, those Adepts are well positioned and are able to shut him down. And the loss of that Reaper is actually going to trigger University of Kansas to move out here with their Adepts. And Adepts are another unit we were talking about, like the Reaper, that has a lot of micro potential and can really reward you for controlling them like to the utmost degree. And in Archon mode, you've got the APM man, you can absolutely do it. So here comes the first set of our Adepts here. This Oracle is going to move out and see what damage it can get done. These Adepts shading up here to the top of the ramp. And, ooh, they will actually stop this bunker from going down. That's a pretty big deal. And they can actually snag more SCVs here now and just continuously prevent this bunker from going down. At the same time, I don't see the Oracle yet. Alright, oh, I think it jumped up against those air blockers for a moment, perhaps. And now the bunker is finally going to finish up, and that will push the Adepts away. This Oracle is just kind of hanging out. I think he wants to go in when the Adepts are being engaged as well, to try to make sure the army isn't properly split up. And now he's going to go around, go through this section here, perhaps. These Adepts are headed home. These two trains are going to pass each other in the night. It's kind of a weird situation because if Team University of Chicago chooses to try to unload, the Oracle should be able to massively reduce the Marine count before it gets up to an effective level. The Oracle is going to come home to help defend this third. It looks like this is going to be a potent drop, but I think that Team University of Kansas should have everything they need to hold on without taking any significant damage. This double drop will be hitting, of course, with Stim. And here it comes. We've got some sentries out here for Team University of Kansas. Taking a lot of damage is that medevac boost does save it just in time. That would have been a really big loss, full of Marines and a medevac without giving any economic damage at all. But so far, I really like the position of University of Kansas here in this game. They've done a terrific job of just getting a skyrocketing economy without taking any damage at all. I believe this Oracle has been setting stasis traps around because its energy is quite low and it doesn't have any kills. Yeah, it doesn't look like it cast Revelation on that. So there are some stasis wards on this map that we get to think about. As we move into the next stages of this game, I want to take a look at the mineral income. Right now, it's pretty similar, but don't let that deceive you. It should be skyrocketing momentarily for excuse me. It should be skyrocketing momentarily for the University of Kansas, as they now have a fully saturated third, and there's the difference we were talking about. I think that there's going to be a lot of pressure to do damage here for the Terran team. These medevacs derping up against the blockers. Oh, really nice spot there with the warp prism. And these guys are probably thinking, oh man, these guys are way too good to let us just get a drop off inside their main base. And yeah, they're gonna maybe turn around and go home. A bit of indecision here. The Protoss here is really powering up, adding on the final bits of infrastructure that they need, adding on those Colossus, which are a unit that are starting to see a big comeback in PvT right now in the meta. And it's gonna be an interesting series of fights with the Colossus versus kind of just that standard bio style. A lot of the times it really comes down more to the engagement itself than actually looking at which army is stronger on paper. Marines being sent all over to check for things. Protoss is just going to take a fourth base. They're feeling very comfortable, very defensive right now. And these guys just want to play passively, get their economy absolutely booming, and then be able to make that like crazy expensive Protoss army that can often seem unwinnable against as a Terran player. And it looks like they're being allowed the breathing room to do it. I mean, this one Marine will put a bit of pressure here, but I think they're very safe. They have a strong army. It's diverse. It's well-rounded. It can handle a lot of different things. And making 2 Colossus at a time now is the University of Chicago. Ooh, we're seeing or at least I'm seeing a huge amount of lag. I hope this isn't affecting the players. We've been actually having some internet outages in our area. So it's possible it's just that, and that I'm just kind of desyncing a bit, and it's not affecting the players. So that's what we're hoping. This army is going to be moving across the map. No, going to be backing off. We've got 4 Liberators, which is a pretty potent squad. Snagging this Oracle could be nice if they get in position. Now it looks like it's just going to get the tag off and go down. And get away, rather. Excuse me. And now it looks like the University of Chicago pulling everything back. They don't feel comfortable being out on the map right now. Instead, they're just going to take their 4th. But it's Kansas's turn to get out there on the map. We'll see if they decide they want to take an engage here. So at least University of Chicago knows it's coming. That can definitely help prepare you with your mental state. They're going to need to get into a nice defensive position here with these Liberators, and they're going to need to have an enormous arc with the Bio if they want to fight this army. But even still, this is looking a bit scary. This Terran Bio army is just so small compared to the Stalker Colossus army of our Protoss players. And, oh man, this army is just absolutely evaporating here. It's doing its best to hold on, but the force fields are really good and cut off any path of retreat or any kind of serious arc, and it really just looks like Protoss is going to crush through here and destroy their opponent as they start marching up the ramp to the natural. They want to perhaps go for the jugular. No, content to have done damage and backed off is our Protoss team. Another Colossus is going to join the fray here. And these Colossus can really put in some work here against the bio-heavy composition of our Terran opponent. Just continuing to poke. The wall is going to be completely down, and that allows this Protoss army to just press in and get the perfect angle of engagement that they want. These SCVs are going to call for line. Mass Repair goes down on the command center, but Colossus are really good at dealing with those SCVs, and they fall very quickly. Blink comes in here underneath the Liberators. I think Protoss could be overcommitting here, losing a few too many of those expensive Stalkers, but it almost doesn't matter. The production is just so much more powerful, and already going into Tempest Colossus is this Protoss team. This is some really interesting play we're seeing here out of the University of Kansas as all of these buildings are falling. More Adepts are going to shade across the map and start doing damage to the 3rd and 4th bases. And all throughout this whole time, University of Chicago is just trying their damnedest to hold on here. Now it does look like for now University of Chicago is going to be pushed off and perhaps take a moment to regroup with those additional tech units they made. Not having a Warp Prism here is a bit strange, but I guess they didn't want to sacrifice their Colossus production for that. Obviously, they're incremented out of that same building. Oh god, there's a mothership coming. This is a very dire situation for the University of Chicago. Kansas looking to tie this series up here 2-2 and bring it to the ace match. But let's see if Chicago can make this hold. Units getting right on top of this Gateway army, but with the Colossus firing from the back, it's really hard to engage this at all. The Vikings are doing a nice job of finding a vulnerable angle here. It looks like they need to actually... Ooh, but reinforcements have arrived as these Tempests come in from the sides, and the Vikings may actually clean up the last of these Colossus. Looks like it will go down, but these Tempests, there's just nothing out to deal with them. The Vikings are going to try to get on top of another one of the Colossuses. I don't know what the answer is for these Tempests, though. Oh, these Vikings are so low. The splash damage is so good. A few more volleys will go off on top of these. And now a couple more Vikings are joining the fray. There really needs to be a decision to just kind of commit into this or not commit into this. It feels like so many Vikings are bleeding off as all this is going on. GG is called. University of Kansas takes the game. Alright guys, this means we're going to be going to our ace match, but before we do that, we're going to play a quick ad for some Band Gaming. Get on that Google Play Store, get on the Apple App Store, and get it, man. It's an awesome app. It lets you coordinate with local gamers, and it's great for running a CSL team.
Ben, Sam, and Ken are on separate journeys to defeat the menacing Vile Dragon. But let's just say luck isn't on their side. If only there was a way for them to find each other and band together. Well, that's why there's Band. It's a mobile app that allows people to come together using common interests. With Band, you can find fellow gamers, chat, schedule gaming sessions, and conduct polls. Stage epic battles with friends while sharing videos and photos along the way. So try Band today. Band. Be together.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're spawning into what is going to be our final game of the evening. It's all tied up 2-2. It comes down to the ace match, which means these players are allowed to be revived. And it's going to be a Mistake Not versus Tagged. Like we said, it is 2-2. And this map is going to be Frozen Temple, so let's introduce our players. In the bottom right-hand corner, playing for the University of Chicago, it is Tagged. And its opponent in the top left-hand corner, playing for the University of Kansas, it is Mistake Not. So there is, it would appear there's a bit of skill disparity between these two players, with Mistake Not being a diamond player and Tagged being a Masters 1 player. Now that doesn't mean that Tagged is automatically going to win. A lot of the times when you have a chance to prepare, or if you know what your opponent likes to do, you can come up with something really specific and take that single map win. It's a best of one. Absolutely anything can happen. But I really think the onus is kind of going to be on Mistake Not here to bring out something really special. It looks like he is going to be throwing down that second barracks very quickly. Frozen Temple is a great map for Reapers, and even though it's not like a crazy, I've never seen this before build, two barracks Reaper opening could be a nice form of aggression here to get things started. Especially because Tagged is saving up for that Reaper expand. He's going to have to make his single barracks worth of Reapers be as effective as Mistake Not's 2 barracks worth of Reapers, and that can be hard to do. Second barracks is going to be finishing up now for Mistake Not, and we're going to have to see if Tagged is ready for this. I'll be curious to see what the kind of hold looks like, how many SCVs go down. Obviously, if Mistake Not holds this without taking too much damage, he'll be in a terrific position. His expansion is nearly a minute faster than his opponent's, it looks like. And these first 2 Reapers will meet each other in the middle of the map, and we can get this party started here on Frozen Temple. A good starting micro coming out of Mistake Not allows him to get a lot of early volleys off before his opponent's able to respond. Good juke here by Tag, who's going to pull away. He probably knows that he wants to maybe go home and be a bit defensive here. Still no additional units out of Mistake Not, and Reaper still being made, or out of Tagged rather, and Reaper still being made for Mistake Not. If you can deny this bunker going down, that's a big deal. That bomb, of course, doesn't actually blow the SCVs away, but ooh, this is looking like it could get a bit interesting here. This second SCV will go down as well. This bunker doesn't look like it's going up anytime soon, and 2 Marines being made at a time is going to be the defense here from Tagged. I think that Mistake Not wants to get into the base and start to engage ASAP. A good reaction from Tagged, preemptively pulling those SCVs off the line, but SCVs are definitely going to fall here, and it's just going to really be down to the micro and the execution of this build from both players. A lot of SCVs off the line, that's a lot of forced mining time lost, and SCVs are continuing to fall. Remember, this is just 2 rack super. This is not the most committed version of this here. That bomb will actually deflect his opponent's of Mistake Not rather. He is going to pull down, and he can start to really chip away at things down on the bottom side of this map. I do think he has to wait for the additional Reapers to jump back up. Is he... Okay, he is going home to deal with this Reaper at home. Really nice counterattack play by Tagged, and that's going to allow him to just kind of accelerate onwards. It looks like, well, that was a touch favorable for Mistake Not in terms of the actual trades and engagements. He's just buying so much time with this, and by the time that Tagged gets back, or Mistake Not gets back across the map, Tagged is just going to have too much for that 2 Reaper production to do anything, and I think it leaves us in a bit of a favorable position for Tagged, who is ahead in tech, he's ahead in economy, his expansion was faster, and he's just going to want to get to making SCVs. Idle Mule there for just a moment. It's a bit unfortunate. Every second really counts with those bad boys. Mistake Not going to take up that defensive posture. He knows that Tagged does have his starport out, I believe. Yes. And he probably wants to make sure he's not going to be getting hit by any kind of drops or Liberator play. actually making Hellions right now is tagged. That's an interesting choice. I'm curious if he's just going to go for some kind of 2-1-1 pressure type build here. Or if perhaps the Hellions were just like, hey, you made some Reapers early on. I want to make sure you're not still making Reapers, and I just don't want to die to that. Looks like now the Tech Lab going to come down. Going to see some tanks out of Mistake Not. And with this first Liberator out, we'll have to see what he wants to do with it. Tagged, that is. Frozen Temple, of course. This map just, it really favors pressure. I mean, you can come around from the left side. You can come around from the right side. Or you can walk down the middle. And there's 3 very distinct angles of engagement that allows the aggressive player to oftentimes find a lot of advantages here. Now, Tagged is going to swing in with this Reaper and see what damage he can find. He's looking for anything here. And it looks like this Liberator is going to siege up over on top of this mineral line, and he's going to start putting work in here. Getting 4 SCVs. There's enough Marines here actually to take out this Reaper as long as this is controlled correctly, which it looks like it should be. The Liberator does go down, but there's another attack coming at the front. He managed to pull the whole army out of position. The bunker does fall, but Mistake Not, it looks like, has the army to deal with this. Yeah, especially with that tank. He shouldn't be losing too much here. And that additional Marine production does come out. I want to take a look at the units lost again. And it's still actually favoring Mistake Not. But Tagged has an economic lead, and he's kept his opponent on the back foot. He's adding on that 3rd CC now, and I still like his position despite what some would say was a questionable attack there. Mistake Not now feels his time is now. He is going to be moving across that map, and I don't think his time is now. He doesn't have any healing. Ooh, if that tank goes down, that could be a huge deal. And actually, that was a really nice engagement for Mistake Not, who's going to continue to push across the map. His biome is stimmed, which is not great for him. It's a bit fragile. There is still a tank available for Tagged, and we're going to have to see how Tag wants to hold on here. Just posturing aggressively outside is Mistake Not. This second tank is a huge deal. It really adds a lot of just defensive firepower to shell away if these guys choose to step into Mistake Not's perimeter. Perhaps a bit of a drop here. It does eat some artillery, which is unfortunate. Ooh, all those Marines that just popped out are a bit out of position. And some tank shelling is going to start now. And he knows he can't engage onto that without additional buffer or tanks of his own. He needs something. These 2 tanks are going to start firing away at the tanks of Mistake Not, who is trying his best to find some damage. But so far, Tag is doing a very good job of holding on without taking any economic damage at all. Having those 2 idling medevacs are a bit vulnerable, actually. If Tagged were able to get underneath them, he could probably take them out. And Tagged is going to be allowed to land his 3rd CC unimpeded. His opponent, I don't believe, has even started their own. Now it looks like Tagged is really going to gear up and move across this map here. Mistake Not. Just kind of sitting back, knowing that he needs to play a bit of catch-up here. He's going to build his CC on the low ground, which can be a bit risky, but he's so far behind his opponent in terms of that 3rd CC time, and it's a huge deal. It's massively showing in the mineral income here. And Tagged is in such a good position. I'm really going to be favoring the University of Chicago here. Tagged, it looks like, going to move across this map once again. Oh, this is actually interesting. Going around the right side is Tagged. We haven't seen any attacks from this angle yet, and I'm not sure if Mistake Not is going to be ready for it. I'm sorry about the game freezes, guys. I'm not really sure what's going on. Battle.net servers were down earlier today. Maybe that's it. I really hope it's not affecting the players. Obviously, we want the players to show the absolute best games they can. This sensor tower is actually going to go up just in time to see this attack coming. But Mistake Not is still out of position, and all of these units are going to get on top of everything here. The shells from Tagged are doing such a good job of firing away at the back. He forces the cancel on that over command. It's going to have to lift. It might even go down if Tagged micros correctly here. There's no SCVs for the repair, and that is critical damage. I think Tagged might just go home here. Yeah, absolutely. There's no need to risk trading out your army in an unfavorable way here, because his opponent has 2 command centers and he has 3. It is going to be restarted immediately, but Mistake Not is going to be in a bit of trouble here, down 60 or so supply, as Tagged is just happy to go consolidate his gains here. Mistake Not is looking for drops. He knows he needs to make something happen with the damage here, but Tag has consolidated his army and is moving across. He's going for a pincer formation. He's going to hit 2 flanks at once, and he may just crush through his opponent here. We're going to have to see. The accidental flank does come in. It gets a bit cleaned up here, but Tag knows his opponent is so out of position. Look how far off those tanks are. And I think Tagged may have cracked the nut that is Mistake Not. Some tanks going to be dropped on the high ground. One gets sniped immediately by these Marines. Tagged showing off really impressive Marine control this whole game. And Mistake Not has to go for a Hail Mary right now. He's going to try to land units right on top of this back tank line of Tagged, but it doesn't look like it's going to work, and the army supply is just absolutely plummeting for Mistake Not as Tagged continues to power on through here. The command center is vulnerable. A single tank left remaining hiring at the high ground. He's got to make incredible value out of that if he wants to hold on here. Just 3 Marines left for Mistake Not. He's going to try to push these medevacs away, but I think there's nothing left. I think Tagged just destroys him. GG is called, and University of Chicago is going to take the series. Mistake Not staying in for a moment here. And there we go. Alright guys, so that is going to do it for us here at the CSL. Thank you once again to our sponsors, Band Gaming. Check them out on the Google Play Store and Google App Store. And check out, or not check out, you're here obviously, but stay and watch another Twitch stream. Go find something new. Maybe you can find a new streamer. Say hi to them, say what's up, make their day. That's going to be about it for us, guys. I'm going to play one more ad, and then we're going to be out.
Only $14.99.
Don't miss the call. Download Band. Communication made easy.